Hello everyone, Kyle here from Wide Awake PH, and in today's episode we're going to talk about Caliking. So Caliking is a Philippine coffee that is coming out of Atok Benguet. It's grown at a high elevation of 1,400 to 1,600 meters above sea level. The Caliking that is featured on our menu right now is a washed processed coffee that is a Typica and Red Bourbon mix. Caliking is being grown by Dicar Farm, and Dicar Farm is owned by the Evasco family. This is a family-owned farm that's been in continuous operation since 1985. So they have quite a long history of farming and coffee production. Just a side note on coffee varietals. So very similar to bananas, for example. Bananas have varietals. So there are different kinds of bananas. Latundan, Lakatan, Cavendish, and so on. And all of them are similar but distinct in flavor. And this is very much the same in the world of coffee. So when we're talking about Dicar Farm, specifically, we have Red Bourbon and we have Typica. And both will manifest their flavors differently in the cup. Red Bourbon is typically known to have very rich, chocolatey, round, and full-bodied experience in the cup, while Typica is known for having a sparkling acidity with a longer finish. So when we're talking about Caliking and why we love this local coffee is because it's just a very well-rounded, well-balanced cup of coffee. What does this mean? So when we use the word balanced in the context of coffee, what we're trying to say is that it has body, sweetness, as well as a pleasant, mouth-watering acidity. With the case of Caliking, we're getting this really rich, sweet, milk chocolate-like sweetness, accented by this really rustic, delicious, nutty quality, and finally ending with a really pleasant, tart, slightly tart, berry-like or jackfruit-like sweetness. So for the local or for the coffee homebrewer, this is a really fun coffee to play around with. You can take it to, or you can tailor your brewing style to get out what you want from this coffee, right? So if you want a coffee that is more rich, full-bodied, sweet, then maybe you can brew it with an AeroPress or a French press or a flat-bottom brewer or dripper. Well, on the other hand, if you're the type that likes your coffee a little bit more tart with a really nice acidity with a longer finish, then I'd recommend brewing it with a V60 or an origami, which is what I prefer for this particular coffee. So before we do a deep dive with Caliking and what makes it so exciting for us, I think it would be helpful for all of you to understand Wide Awake's thought process behind choosing our local partner farms. So the way we think about choosing our partners is we have to like the quality today and also be excited about the potential of the farm in the future down the road, long term. I think a good way to visualize it and make it more relatable is to view the coffee farm as a factory. When we're thinking about factories, I think it's helpful to be able to know the owners of the factory and the conditions behind the factory. So for one, the owners, or in the case of coffee farming to producers, should be interested in farming for quality or producing quality. So we're only interested with working with farmers who love or who have a passion for producing fine specialty coffee. And on the other hand, we're looking at their capability. In the context of coffee farming, we're looking at how can they process their coffees. Can they do washed, natural, honey, anaerobic, and other kinds of fermentation processes? And on top of this, we're going to look at their terroir, their microclimate. So what is their elevation? What are the growing conditions like? So on and so forth. So given this, we really feel that Caliking just ticks all the boxes. So right now, they already have really good high quality coffee. Currently, they're able to produce Red Bourbon and Typica. They're two coffee varietals with a large enough scale. And what they can do with this coffee is they can process it in 3 different ways: washed, natural, and honey. So now we have the potential for 3 distinct flavors. But what makes working with Caliking or Dicar Farm exciting for us is the potential for getting more flavor or better tasting qualities out of the farm. Speaking with Michael Evasco from Dicar Farm, they're already in the process of tagging their trees for further separation and segmentation of their coffee varietals. So right now, they're mixing in Red Bourbon and Typica together. But in the future, we might be able to get Red Bourbon separately, Typica separately, and Red Bourbon Typica mixed together, creating 3 distinct types of coffee. And furthermore, they will be able to process each kind of coffee 3 different ways: washed, natural, and honey, giving us, the roaster, and you, the customers, a lot more variety when it comes to the flavor. So it will be up to us and Michael, of course, from the Dicar Farm, to collaborate and really understand what is tasting the best from this farm and then offer it for you to enjoy. Before we end this episode, we'd just like to say that we are so excited, humbled, and proud to be able to work with such a hardworking and talented coffee family, with the Evasco family coming out of the Dicar Farm. And we're so excited to be able to share these coffees with all of you. Thank you for watching, stay tuned for more content, and keep safe.